Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. My story of July 20th to July 21st, 2007. I've wanted to make a video of this story for a while now, and every time I try to do it, it just doesn't come out right. And it probably won't come out right this time either. But, I figured I have to give it a go someday. This is how the story began. July 20th, I woke up around 9 a.m. to my friend Danny calling me saying, "They're giving out wristbands already. Go to Borders and get yours so you can get in line." I think, oh my gosh, I look like crap. But all the while I looked like crap, I got up, and by 10 a.m. I was at Borders with the wristband. But yeah, they had to cut them off the night of the release, which kind of made me sad because I like holding on to sentimental things like that. By 11 a.m., I was in Baltimore City. Why was I in Baltimore City? Artscape. And why was I at Artscape the day of a very important release? Well, my friends, I needed something to do so I wouldn't completely lose control of myself. So, alas, I went to Baltimore City and I got some art. I actually got a light switch that said Gryffindor on it, and I was like, yes, tonight is the night! Everything was about Harry Potter that night, obviously. I got home around 3 p.m., and that was when I already started getting ready. I wore a red dress with gold flowers on it, very Gryffindor. It's my favorite dress. I also wore it to Prophecy. I had my Gryffindor earrings on, and a time turner, and I'm not even gonna lie, I looked pretty cute. And I was very glad I looked good that night, because that night was one of the most important nights of my life, obviously. I arrived at Borders around 5 p.m., and I met up with my friends Kelsey and Danny there. It was very exciting but very morbid at the same time. We were all it felt as if we were walking into a basement that belonged to our parents, or our grandparents, I mean, and we were just revisiting old memories, because we all go to different schools, and yeah, it was awesome. And the whole night was just hectic as anything. The news was there, which made the third time I was on the news that summer, which was crazy. All of a sudden I became this news, symbol of the Harry Potter 2008 in Baltimore, apparently. It was weird, because when I went to that Borders for the Half-Blood Prince release, it was only 2 months old, and so there were only maybe 100 or 200 people there. But this time, there were over 2,000 people, and it's a very small Borders. It's one floor, and it's very, very small, but it was cool being around everyone Harry Potter-ish. And the line at the cafe was always 50 people long, so we decided to get in line. I got a large Cocoa Trio, which made me go off the walls, but then we all had to get in line, and the final countdown was said. And I had my iPod buds in my ear, because there was nothing I feared more than someone coming in and ruining this whole thing for me. Something I've been waiting for a long, long time. And so I got the book, and that guy asked, "Would you like a bag for that?" And I said no. So he didn't give me a bag, so he gave me my book, my little Deathly Hallows poster, and this receipt. Yeah, I have it framed, along with some miscellaneous other Harry Potter pictures. I began to hyperventilate. I was bawling my eyes out, and I was holding this thing as if it was my child. And my friend Kelsey comes up to me, and she goes, "Liz, breathe!" And I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. And she was like, "Open it." And I opened it, and I read these words: "We now present the 7th and final installment of the epic tale of Harry Potter." I was completely dead by that point. And so I had to go hide in the manga section, because I felt as if someone was just gonna steal this from me. I was so afraid someone was gonna take this, even though I knew people weren't going to. And I just waited for my dad to come get me, and he came and get me. And on the car ride home, I didn't even attempt to read it on the car ride, because it's only 3 minutes from my house, and I didn't really want to ruin the moment. I was just sitting there like this in the car ride. Then I ran home, and I found a letter from Pema on my table. I'm like, this is not a good time. So I darted upstairs. I literally threw off all of my clothes. Why I threw off all my clothes, I have no idea. But I threw off all my clothes, I jumped into bed, and I began reading. I read like there was nothing else I could do with my life. And I fell asleep for about an hour at 4, and then I woke up at 5, and I began reading again. My parents came in and said it was time to leave for the beach. Okay, cool, great. And so on the way to the beach, I was sick, and I had prescription medicine that didn't work for me, so I had all these red blotches all over my face, and I was still sitting here reading, crying, dying. It probably wasn't the best thing to do while I was sick. To read this book while I was sick probably turned me even more sick. And I finished it the night of July 21st at 10:36 p.m. 10:36 p.m. And that's always going to be an important time for me. And that week while I was at the beach, it was kind of like this whole relaxing period for me, so I pretty much wouldn't kill myself. And my younger cousin was reading it, and like every day when he read it on the beach, I would sit right by him, and he would ask me questions, and I would answer them gladly, but I didn't give anything away, of course. And I always teased him, because when he first started reading it, he was like, "What does I open at the close mean?" I'm like, "I'm not going to tell you." So me and my younger cousin had this running joke of just completely just being like, "Hey, guess what? I open at the close." And she'd be like, "Yeah, I do too." I love my cousins. That was my Deathly Hallows story. And that's not even how much detail I wanted to give it to you in. There's so much more to it, but there isn't at the same time. There are so many other ways I could explain it, but I just don't have the time and I don't want to bore you all to death. But I also do have this. This is the deluxe edition, and it's still chilling in its plastic wrapping. I got it 40% off of Borders, and I'm too afraid to read it because I don't want to like make any weird crease marks, so I just keep it in its pretty little box. Now, if you've actually watched to the end, I would be extremely happy if you would respond by making a video or leaving a comment about your Deathly Hallows experience. Because, hey, it's been over 6 months, and I feel like it's finally time for us to all, calm down a little bit. If that's even possible.